right, thanks for stopping in. Let's just do a burn on this final piece of wood I got. It's not one of the best pieces, but that's all right. Give us something to do today. So we'll just do a burn on this final piece of wood. Stand by. All right, good deal. Good deal. Let's just give us something to do today. All right, let me turn this thing up to about 9. Turn up to about 9. I just did a quick sketch on there of a Bradley vehicle. Some of you may be familiar with it. My last time in Iraq, I took some of them there. Went with the group. It's a Bradley fighting vehicle. This was supposed to be that. This is not the perfect drawing either, but it's supposed to be an M2 Bradley. This vehicle's got an interesting story. They actually made a movie out of I hope you can see this, out of the making of this vehicle. I think who was in that movie? I forget. They made it several years ago, 90s or early 90s, I think, but about the Bradley. It wound up coming to life out of something it was never supposed to be. It was just supposed to be an armored personnel carrier. They went so much over budget on it and kept adding things to it that, like I said, they made a movie out of it. It was comical. I mean, it was a comedy. It was true. Tell you how messed up the government was. It was a comedy movie, but it was actually true, all of it. Yeah. It was supposed to be an armored personnel carrier similar to, well, I guess probably similar to what is now a LAV that the Army uses and the Marine Corps uses. But it wound up being a weapons platform. It was just incredibly expensive. But I can tell you from personal experience, it was a vehicle that's made for the war in the desert. It was made for it. There's not a better armored vehicle for desert warfare than a Bradley, I don't think. But yeah, like I said, this sketch is not exactly right either, but that's okay. That's okay. We're just burning this piece of wood here, using up the last piece that I had cut at any rate. I think I could find plenty of old fence boards out there. I'm not sure about how this looks either on the camera. I mean, I just sketched this on there real quick and I'd sketched it up. I'm not sure about the dimensions. It is what it is. It's all right. It's just a burn video. It's not about not a schematic. Not a schematic. But yeah, this thing is I say it's made for desert warfare. It takes to take care of it and maintain it takes a crew that has to work incredibly hard. Just loading ammunition on this vehicle is labor intensive. And I'll tell you, when I went to Iraq the last time, was 2004. I had a great crew. And those guys were made for this vehicle. they were a hell of a crew. We had miserable weather conditions many times, but they just went right on, you know. The gunner I had was Sergeant Robinson. Was the best, just the best. He was a sergeant at the time. He was the toughest, one of the toughest NCOs I've ever had the good fortune to work with. Physically tough. I mean, miserable weather didn't affect him. Hours of no sleep. I mean, all of us is that was our job. But I'm saying, you got people who, like I said, this vehicle is a bear to maintain. I ain't even gonna begin to go into it, but in normal conditions, but in wartime conditions, you throw a track, track comes off in a dangerous place. You got to get it back on quickly, and it happened to us at least once. We were not in a good place, and the track came off, and the boys got it back on with a quickness. Just a hell of a bunch of guys, I'll tell you what. Indeed, they were. Yeah. The driver, I remember the driver I had, his name was Ray. And he was great also. Tough. All of them were tough. They were all from the same area in North Carolina. I remember one time we were in the back of the vehicle. We had it and somebody had stepped around the corner and fired an RPG at the vehicle. And the driver's hatch is, I don't know if you can see it, is this right here. Ray was sitting inside there, and an RPG landed right underneath him inside on the ground under there. We were in the back, and we had just stepped into the back. The ramp was still down when it hit. Didn't phase him. Hell of a guy. All of them were. Yeah, let's see. Okay. I'll forget myself here and forget there's a camera up there. Trying to keep this where you can see it. I sketched this while ago, so I don't know. It ain't exactly right, but it's close. Close enough. Close enough for government work. Yeah, these vehicles are amazing. They're very heavy, but they can still go fast. You just don't want to be inside one if it rolls over. You know. But yeah, let me see. We're going to try to get this. I'm just trying to get this Bradley features halfway right, and then go on. But like I said, it's just it's not nearly correct. It's just yeah. Bradley is a great vehicle. Has about every weapon system you need for desert warfare or just about any other. Main guns, machine guns, coax machine guns. It's got missiles. It even has missiles. Yeah, this board right here. This is the scrap board. One of the scrappier boards that I had left. That's why I wanted to get it. Burned. It's got a lot of knots in it. It's got yeah. We're just faking it here, trying to get this. We're just trying to get. We're just kind of faking it. Headlights. Of course, you got bolts all over them. I don't know. I mean, I know the door's got several. This is the engine hatch right here. Got several rows of bolts. This thing is heavy, heavy. I think it weighs 60 tons, I think. Very heavy. But you would be shocked how fast it can move. With that kind of weight on it. Yeah. I should have used the other attachment, but that's okay. We're not. These are supposed to be bolt heads, but should have used that round attachment. That's okay. That's okay. This particular Bradley doesn't have armor on it either. You put reactive armor on it, and it'd be wider than it is there. And last time we were in Iraq, we had reactive armor on ours. Of course, you got to put all that stuff on yourself. There's not like you don't go to an armor Walmart and get it done, or you got to load it, fix it yourself. We're going to put some stuff on the back. That's kind of the back end of it. We're just going to see. This is a real rough spot. It's got that These lines right here in the wood is very difficult to burn. Like I said, this wood's not made for burning, but these lines in the wood are very, very hard. And they have to be hard to resist this heat. They are. Yeah. Yeah. We're just, this is supposed to be a rack, so you can't be in a rack without a bunch of trash all over the ground, empty water bottles everywhere. Anybody who's been there knows. The place is filthy. Place is filthy. Somebody could probably show me a picture of the ground in Iraq, and I'd know it was Iraq just from the trash. Just from the trash. Yeah. Yeah, these track, when you're changing the track, these track pads, each one of these is 32 pounds. Each one weighs 32 pounds. So you can imagine how heavy one track is, just one track. Yeah. That's why this vehicle is so heavy, but one of the reasons. My history in the Army is light infantry, so I was never fond of armor of any kind. But I tell you, Bradley kind of, after the war was over, had time to think about it. His vehicle, was impressive. In my youth, I spent some time in M113 M113 personnel carriers. I love those vehicles. They're very small. Very small. They used them in Vietnam a lot, and they're just great for anywhere. They're relatively light, fast, small, and have room inside it for the squad. Uh, and it has a troop hatch in the back where you can open that up, and you can put quite a few guys up in the hatch if you want to. It's a great vehicle. It was a great vehicle for the Vietnam War, and it's actually good for any conflict. But the weight is good for like particularly that war, I suppose. And I wasn't in the Vietnam War. I was too young, but just barely. I wanted to go, but I was too young. I joined the Army 2 years after it was over. I was too young. I joined as soon as I could, and everything I thought was over, but wound up spending most of my life in a war anyway. At any rate, you know, that I didn't see coming. Yeah, let's see here. I'm hoping if I review this, I'm hoping you can see it. I'm just running my mouth and not looking. Yeah, these things are impressive. They are. Company commander that I had during that last war is a general now. He was a captain. He was a young captain. Always knew he'd go far, and he did. He was young and smart. Bunch of good officers in that company. Most of them are North Carolina boys. You can see this. I'm hoping. Put a little more trash out here. Another water bottle. I know guys have been to Iraq. They know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Trash. Water bottles. Trash everywhere. Iraqi village. Iraq flat as a table, man. You can see most of it. See, you can see for miles and miles. Yeah. You spend a lot of time in Iraq. You don't need to look off of anything to remember to remember it. You don't. All right. Let's see. So a little burn. We did our little burn. We did our little burn. Let me see. I could put. I gotta check the time on this video. I'll put the teak oil on it at another time. I think we're probably running into the time on this video. takes forever to upload them when they run over time. All right, we're gonna turn this off. Let me see if you can see it. Yeah, I guess so, huh? I guess so. Alrighty. Good deal. I'm going to try to remove this phone without it shutting off. All right. I appreciate you stopping in again. We're running a little bit long on this video, but just another burn video. We'll put, whenever I get some of that, I'll put some teak oil on there at another time, and then when I get some of that polyurethane, we'll put that on there just to see what it looks like. All right, I appreciate you stopping in. See you next time.